Welcome to another episode of Sites of Community. Today, I'm joined by a live audience here at Nashville PBS, and we're joined by Tennessee hip-hop artist Daisha McBride, also known as the Rap Girl, and Tim Gent. How y'all doing?
Blessed, bro.
Feeling good.
Y'all doing good?
Feeling good,
man.
Y'all ready to represent Tennessee?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Of course, me being from Nashville, I'm a little biased a little bit, because we got Knoxville, and we got Clarksville, and we got Nashville representing it. So to start it off, and this is a question for all three of y'all. If you had to explain what the sound of Tennessee hip hop is, how would you describe that? I'll start with you, Tim, because you gotta look like you got it on your mind already.
I was hoping somebody else would answer. But no, just off the top of my head, Memphis has had a huge impact on what the world classifies as hip hop out of Tennessee. But if you travel outside of that, you get a lot of blues, you get a lot of R&B, a lot of lyricism. I think rappers in the South really come with it with the pen. But just, off the top of my head, I would say that Memphis sound is what has kind of set the tone for Tennessee rap.
How about you, Daisha? How would you, if somebody didn't know, or if you want to describe like the sound of Tennessee hip hop right now, or the new sound, right?
I think that I would just say we have a little bit of everything, right? Like if you like the Memphis sound, of course you can go to Memphis and hear that, but then we also, like in Nashville, I feel like there's so many different pockets just here in Nashville by itself. Like there's, the people who are doing like the more conscious stuff and the people, and I just feel like the production is different in all these different lanes, but I think kind of like Tim said, there's a reoccurring theme of like the lyrics are there, the lyricism is there, the realness is there. So that's what I'd say, just off the top of my head.
And I'm gonna cater this a little different to you, Bree.
Okay.
You often hear, especially growing up in this Nashville, it might be throughout Middle Tennessee too as well, it's like we don't have a hip hop sound, right? What does that mean to you when you hear that, or why do you think people receive that? Like, or is that true? We don't have an identity like Memphis, right? When it comes to our region of hip hop here in Nashville, the greater area of Nashville.
I think we Music City, so it shouldn't have a sound. We are Music City. We make music. We are the home of all music, so it should sound like everything. I feel like when we get focused on genres, it causes separation in the world. Like, I'm an artist first, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do whatever comes to mind, and I think that's what Music City represents. You're gonna see people pick up a guitar. You may see somebody pick up an 808. So what? That's what we do. That's our sound. I think Music City is just a place where you can come and create. That's what I think our sound is.
I mentioned earlier that everybody's from Clarksville, Knoxville, Nashville. If I'm listening to your music, right, how do you all kind of weave in where you grew up and where you're from into either the performances or maybe your lyrics? Or how would I know, like Tim, oh, you're from Clarksville? How would I, as a listener, as a consumer, how would I know that? How do you make sure that's a part of your storytelling in your music?
I like to reference streets. Okay. I think I do it for the people that's in Clarksville too, so one of my first projects that started to give me some notoriety, outside of Middle Tennessee was Clarksville Nights, and the cover is a street sign, and you got Peacher's Mill, and you got the way it turns into that street right there, but Crossing Avenue, Fort Campbell Boulevard, Wilma Rudolph, just mentioning those streets, I think it resonates with me, of course, but it resonates with the people back at home. So when you go do your due diligence, you're like, okay, that's Clarksville, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like growing up listening to Gucci Mane, and he'd always reference Boulder Crest, you don't know what that is until you know what I mean? So that's how I like to do it.
How about you, Daisha, on the same question? How do you make sure you weave in Knoxville? Because we think of Knoxville, we think of UT.
Hey, first of all, go Vols, go Vols, go Vols.
That's what we think about. So where's the music in there?
There's music there too, but go Vols. But for me, I feel like where my Knoxville side comes out is like how versatile I am. Like, for an example, the recent project I just dropped, right? I feel like there's every single genre on that one project. So it's like there's pop, you know, and there's like really pop, like something that you wouldn't expect a rapper to do. But I think growing up in Knoxville, like I grew up playing the violin. I grew up, like I didn't listen to hip hop for a long time because it just wasn't around me growing up at first. But like we have a lot of like folk music and bluegrass and country. So I think just growing up, kind of initially being exposed to that, when I finally did discover hip hop, it was like, okay, how can I fuse the two almost? So I think for me, my Knoxville, my East Tennessee roots come across and just my diversity and how I can just switch it up. And I can give you the raps, but then also I can make a song that's more pop or country leaning, and it still is me, so.
How about you, Bree? How do you make sure people understand and know, especially Nashville being seen as a country music city, right? How do you make sure that hip hop or just your diversity of music in general is represented maybe just outside of country as well?
It's crazy because I was just in the office at a record label meeting last weekend. They were just crazy lost.
I like how you put that out there.
I mean, they got a little flex. No little flex. But like, it was just crazy because they love the authentic vibes because, you know, I name Bell Road in my songs a lot. I drop East Nashville, Jefferson Street. But like, my biggest thing is the visual element, like my music videos. I always include our community in it, from, you know, if we at Prim's Appetit or we at Jefferson Street, or we may be at the black market somewhere, you know, like I just always try to include the community and my family and the people I love in my music videos because I'm telling our story. Right. And that's where hip hop came from when we was beating on lunch tables and doing that, you know, like it all came from the heart of our people. So I just try to showcase our culture in the music videos. No matter how far I go, I'ma always do that. And I think TSU could tell you that, you know, John F. Kennedy, Antioch High School, you know, I'm still going to the juveniles and John Early, I'm doing things there actively all the time. So it's like, how do we bring the future into what we're doing now? So yeah.
I want to go back to you, especially when you talk about like community. The show is a slice of the community. So and this might be something, that's why I'm excited about this conversation, to maybe get y'all to talk about a little bit of something that y'all don't always get asked, especially, you know, as artists when it comes to the community piece. When we think about music, when we think about hip hop especially, we know that like there's music out there that promotes harm, right? That promotes violence, right? Glorifies it. How do you all make sure with your music, with your lyrics, that you're having a balance to that, or just a positive influence to the listener, understanding that, you know, there are youth, there are people that can be influenced by what you say or what you don't say?
I could tap that real quick. A lot of people don't know this unless they really are super fans. My name, Too Loud Bree, it came from because my dad was heavy into like the street lifestyle. And my mom had me in the church. So I was battling as a kid trying to figure out my identity. So I leaned on music. I never wanted to be famous. I just didn't have nobody to vent to. So music was therapeutic to me. So I understand like the way all sides of our community walks. And it's like, I try to help a kid that may be lost in that cycle of like, okay, how can I be different when, you know, my family over here is they're exposed to X, Y, and Z violence. And then on the other side, in the church, you may think you too good, but you don't understand struggle. So it's like I trying to find a way to be the world's favorite outcast in my music, but trying to communicate to them kids is just trying to figure out who they are, but also unapologetically be who they are. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the main thing. I think when you go to my shows and you're seeing people get emotional because they resonate to that because they understand what emotional track I'm speaking on. So yeah.
You want to speak to that too, Daisha?
I would say,
Let it marinate.
I know, I'm like, let me cook. I think I would just say, right, intrusive thought. I think I would say, I don't know, when I'm making music, I try to just turn the world off almost. Because for me, I started music because it was therapeutic for me. And it was like, this is a way that like, I just want to talk about my life and the things that I'm going through and all the things. So for me, I think if I could say like I want somebody to get a message out of my music, just to like be yourself, because that's exactly what I'm doing in my music. Like when I'm making songs, I'm not trying to rap like this person and be like this, but like I'm just doing me.
Yeah.
And so I think, I think that, I don't know, that's just a message that I'm hearing from people as I'm out and doing it. People are just like, like I resonated when you said that. Like I felt that. And I think that's like the highest compliment that I can get whenever I'm doing music.
Tim, you want to speak on that?
Yeah, I think as artists, we become leaders, even if it's on accident. Like they said, it started as a outlet, and then people flock to it, and you become a role model, an influential figure. I think for me personally, I attempt to give myself positive advice and allow it to resonate with me, and then if it resonates with someone else, cool. Like my forthcoming project, Change is Good, is a story about, it's like a maturation of man, and going from a young man who was like full of, drinking, a lot of drugs, lust, whatever, whoop, and transitioning into, the man I am today. I'm married, you know what I'm saying? I got a little boy, and I'm a family man now. So I'm not attempting to tell somebody else to live this way. I'm just giving my life through the music. Right. So I think it's important to just be honest. Right. And, whether you are like, if your lifestyle is like that and you're being honest and it has a negative effect on the children, put that parental advisory sign on your on your joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Word. But just be honest. I think honesty is how I navigate that.
I want to invite the audience at any moment, if y'all want to come up to the mic and ask any of our amazing guests a question, feel free to do so at this time, or any time during the remainder of the conversation. Community, when it comes to, we talking about music and hip hop in general, what role do y'all believe that music can play, or even yourselves can play as artists, when it comes to social change? Whether it's throughout Tennessee or throughout the nation, do you see yourself, do you play a role? It's like you said, are you a leader, whether you want to or not? Or do you stay away from the things, it's like, maybe I don't speak up? Do you feel like you have some type of social responsibility to be a part of that?
100%. I think it's our duty to do so. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's not your music, I think it's, musicians, we have to have other projects that we work on. And I think, with me, I have a heart for the kids that's in the Justice Center. That's just something I've been doing for the last 4 years. I created studios where they go into every Saturday, and they can get out of probation through my program. You know what I'm saying? And I think through the music, just giving them the opportunity. All my last sold out shows, I had people from the juvenile detention center open up for me, letting them know I seen you in the inside, but when you get out, I give you an opportunity. And I think that's what we do. That's what us artists are supposed to do. We're supposed to amplify our culture. And I think for me, it's bigger than music. It's about the whole creative arts of Nashville, especially for us Black artists. Yeah. I recently just put one of our films on Tubi. We was trying to get on Peacock and all that, but it was a director. It was a director that started here, and I had a resource, and I called my friend up in LA and said, hey, put this out here because I wanted to give more opportunities to the Black actors here in Nashville. And if I had a resource, I'm gonna give it. So I think social justice is, yes, about standing up for something, but it's about creating opportunities so people don't go back to the same things that put them in a downfall. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think as an artist, I think it's always important to just give back and pay it forward. I resonate with a lot of what, Bree was saying, and I feel like nowadays, you gotta stand for something. Like, you gotta stand for something. If you pick a side and stay there. But like, I think you gotta stand for something, and I think in a perfect world, I would love to say like, yeah, I'm just an artist, but like, it's bigger than that. Right. It's so much bigger than that, and I think when you realize that, like Bree said, like, I didn't start this because I wanted to be famous. I just did it because I like writing raps. Yeah. But then that's kind of just what comes with it. People look up to you. People listen to what you got to say. And so I think was it like, I think it's like Spider-Man, like with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, whatever it is. So I think just like recognizing that, like,
That was Uncle Ben, wasn't it?
yeah.
Don't get me started. I'm waiting on dude.
Yeah, and so I think for me, you know, off the top of my head, there's not like a specific thing that I'm like really leaned into right now, but I don't think I've ever shied away from, you know, standing up for what's right. Like my grandmother, she was a civil rights activist, and one of the quotes that, you know, she's passed away now, but one of the things that she said, long story short, she was in Mississippi when they were trying to desegregate the school system. She ended up getting arrested, going to jail, doing all this stuff. But then when she got out, the local paper had interviewed her, and they were like, you know, like, you knew you were gonna get arrested. Like, why'd you stand up and do this? And she said, whenever I see injustice, I just can't hold my peace. And I feel like that's kind of how, like, I embody that. So, like, I have no problem speaking up about whatever if it, you know, if it comes to it. But yeah, that's just kind of what comes with it.
Hey, Tim, what do you enjoy most now about making music? Like, what makes you, like, what is that motivation? What makes you just like, I want to get in and just make, because you can get exhausted, right? You can have burnout, right? But what keeps you going? Like, what's the most exciting part about making music now, today?
The most exciting thing for me right now is hearing something back and I'm like, yo, this slaps. Like, this is good. I like this. You know what I mean? Like,
What's the percentage of that thought? Like, is that a 10 out of 10? You think?
Nah. There's a lot of records I make, and I'm like, yo, that's trash, man.
At least you can be honest with yourself.
Yeah. Like,
that's good. That's good.
That's trash. But just that feeling of, because when I started making music, it was like, maybe like, I ain't trying to, you know, like probably like 2011, something like that. And at that time, I want to say like DJ Khaled and like Rick Ross, they were like running the radio, you know, and they had this song called A-Rad Money or something. And I was like, yo, this song is so trash. Like, this is terrible.
But it's on the radio.
Yeah. No offense. I just says, you know, some of my stuff is trash. But it was so bad. And I'm like, yo, I want to make something that, you know, I like, you know, and I'm influenced by other artists and stuff like that. But yeah, that I get the gratification from like hearing something and being able to see my idea actualized. You know what I mean? Like the way that I heard something or the idea I had coming back to me through the speakers and it making me feel something, that's the most satisfaction I get right now.
That's cool. Daisha, who are some of your influences today? And that can be from where you grew up or just in general.
I mean, I'm always gonna say Missy Elliott. She's number one for me. But it's a lot of black women, honestly.
Okay. That's enough said.
Yeah, I mean, I love Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of Indie Irie lately.
Okay.
But honestly, right now, I love good lyrics. Like, I'm trying to take genre out the way and I'm here for whoever's writing a good song that I'm like, I can feel that.
All right, so I gotta ask you this as a lyricist. Have you ever been like on the track and like, they got me on this one type of like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got you on like, they killed me. Yeah.
I think everybody got to take the L eventually.
Yeah. I ain't never took no L on no track.
Oh, word? Okay.
Just to be clear.
Okay.
You know, just to let y'all know.
Say that.
Undisputed.
I'm like, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know why you scratching your head, bro. We can go after this. At any moment, we can go. You know, at any moment.
We ain't gonna go there.
Drop the beat.
Yeah,
Drop the beat right now.
Drop the intro again.
Yeah, drop the intro.
Yeah.
After this, we can figure that out. You know what I'm saying? At a different time. Bree, man, when you talk about different genres, especially the diversity of music, you're a writer. Yeah. You can do anything, right? You can write anything. You can make any song a good song, pretty much, in a video. How do you stop yourself from being boxed in, right? Because I feel like a lot of artists feel like sometimes they have to stay in a particular lane and don't vary or don't want or being told, nah, you stay right here. You don't need to do anything else. How do you stay so open and free with the music that you create without shame? Like, hey, if it sound good, it sound good. If it go, it go.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I grew up listening to like, looking up to like Michael Jackson, Prince, and then, got the Outkast and Nelly and all these different characters, that's like characters. So it's just like, I understood that you can't listen to the outside noise. You gotta block out everything. Okay. Anything that's negative in my life, I block it out immediately. Just because it's like, I know that I really understand that everybody is special in their own way, and every thought, you cannot think what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah.
So if I just stay authentic to that moment of whatever thought comes to my mind authentically in that moment, I put it down on paper, I put it down in the studio, it's just gonna be magical. Because nobody has the same brain or ideas as you. And I try to, when I'm working with other people, I always say that. Like, go off that and move and watch how special this would be.
Oh, we have a question. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, snap.
So, kinda, is it on?
Yes, on. Yep.
It's on.
Yep.
Okay, so kind of circling back to when you started kind of talking about just Memphis really put Tennessee on the map. So as far as, because I'm sure all of y'all are into the Nashville blogs about music on Instagram and everything, about a lot of the Antioch artists or Nashville artists that kind of just aren't making it out or like blowing up or whatever the case is, because Memphis really is the sound of Tennessee music-wise. So just question individually for all three of y'all, how did you network yourself enough to have eyes outside of Tennessee on you enough to like be able to have the platform that all three of you guys have right now?
For me, it was output. When I was, before I moved to Nashville, I moved to Nashville in 2017. And before I moved to Nashville, I had like 8 or 9 projects already. And that was, at that time, it was like the blog era. So you had like Two Dope Boys, Hot New Hip Hop. A lot of discovery was transpiring through platforms like those. And I was just always dropping. I was just consistent. And eventually those platforms, those blogs started to kind of pick up on it. Around that time too, Isaiah Rashad had signed TDE, so a lot of eyes were looking in this direction. And also like, I started getting paid for shows and stuff like that, but I didn't turn down opportunities if pay wasn't involved. I understood that some currency isn't in the form of money, and some of it is exchange and networking, and I just prided myself on that. And then when I got into songwriting, just kind of the floodgates open. And God.
So if you want a free show, go Tim, you doing free show?
Oh my gosh.
Say not now.
They told me to maintain my intrusive thought.
All right, let's go. Let's go to another question for Ty.
Hi, I'm Jay. I live in East Nashville. Question is kind of for all of you guys. Bree, me and my son were kind of looking you up and just kind of, actually all of you guys, like learning a little bit about you guys. But you said something about you'd like to tour around the world and maybe do community service, in some of those countries and such, and really made an impression on us. And so is there something you guys would like to see the community do for the hip hop community? Like Nashville, Clarksville, Knoxville, is there something that's missing? Is there something that you would say, I would love to get this organization, this something together and marry it with music, and that way we can really bring a lot more awareness to this. And there's all kinds of, breast awareness and such like that, but is there something that you say, it's missing? My city, it's missing in my city, and if we just had this and meld it with the music, it would launch something.
So just because of time, we're gonna let one of y'all take it.
Can I do it?
You can, yeah.
Because I'm working on this. So I believe that, and Freddie would tell you, I've been, like, this is what I want to do. All right, so.
I'm Mayor,
like,
Mayor Freddie O'Connell.
You're Freddie. So like, I think like, we're a music city. I definitely want to tour around and do community service around the world, every state, every country. I want to do that. But starting here in Nashville, I want to do where like we embrace Music City. And I feel like we can hire creatives to be mentors to other creatives, and we mentor that kid up to be another mentor, and that's how we create jobs for Music City. I feel like we can go into schools and give them opportunities to be engineers, mentors, and have stipends. We got nonprofit funding, government funding that we can do, that we can create these programs, because all these kids need a place to just talk. Like when I talk to these kids, they're not really, they want to do music, but realistically, I remember playing a song for a kid's mother, and she was like, that's the first time I ever heard my son talk. So it's power in music. It's not just about us getting on the stage and doing our thing. It's really about connecting these families back with their kids. And I think we can do that and pour it and pass it down and really embrace what Music City represents. We say We Music City, let's really start funding the artists and funding, these type of programs in the schools and the community, because kids are not going to community centers no more. We need real community leaders in place and paying mentors and leaders to start pouring back into the community. That's what I think we need.
All right, so look, I got one more exercise. We got
Brief
30
them
seconds. Look, I got 30 seconds. We got one more exercise. It's 4 of us. I want us to name, each one of us to name an artist to create a Mount Rushmore. Okay? So you go first. We gotta be quick.
Create a Mount Rushmore.
Rushmore, 4 people. So you gotta name an artist.
Michael Jackson.
Come on, 10 seconds.
Beyonce.
Okay.
Hey, under 3,000.
Okay, I'm going Boosie. A fight for the community. Thank you all for tuning in. Give it up for our guests.
Boo.
We'll catch y'all next time. You can watch us on YouTube at www.Nashville PBS. So, appreciate y'all.
That's crazy.
Bring up the step and repeat. Thanks. Can you bring up the audience mic, Assault? Well, Dale, did you record that one?
No, but Joey did.
Did you guys really not record?
Yeah, I actually did not. Well, it was all right. I did hit record.
Do we have a recording of this?
Yeah, Joey did. Joey
Okay.
recorded
Okay. We need to add that to the checklist, I guess, of remind engineering to record.
it. Yeah, next time, yeah. I also accidentally hit the listen button, so we didn't hear you guys.
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
I said I had the listening off